This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Tonight from Busch Stadium, a matchup inside the Central Division. The Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to game one of 3 this weekend. That's Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Should be a lot of fun. It always is. The Cubs and the Cardinals. Great matchup here tonight. The Cardinals hitters, they have a test in front of them. John Lester goes this evening.
A tough test. He's been doing this a long time. Been in Boston, won a World Series, Chicago World Series. He goes out there, he moves the ball around the zone. You better bring your A game and be ready to play when you have to face John Lester.
16 starts against the Cardinals, an ERA of 2.22. He can be so tough. It is a marquee matchup. 2 of the best right now in the National League. John Lester on the year, 7-2, coming off a win over the weekend. And Michael Wacha, take away his first start. He's been lights out on the season, 8-1. Jimmy, his last 10 starts, dominant. What has stood out for you?
I think the fastball. When he establishes that fastball, you see that breaking ball come later on, but the fastball is the most important part. Everything else will play off of that, so that's what I'm looking for early in the game.
It's Michael Wacha. It's John Lester. It's the Chicago Cubs. It's the St. Louis Cardinals. Doesn't get much better than this. Cubs and Cardinals in a weekend series here at Busch. happen, Budweiser will be there. Buy Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And try the $4.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. Hot, steamy night here in St. Louis. That's their team leader in homers, Javi Baez, with 14. Also Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant. 1 home run hit, 27-12 for the Cubs. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, they hit a home run, 33-13. No home runs hit, 3-17. Their top home run hitter this year, Jose Martinez, and he will miss this series. It's a pair of aces. John Lester, Michael Wacha, the Cubs, the Cardinals, and it comes your way next. He's on the paternity list and in Venezuela, so Luke Voit back with the Major League club. Michael Wacha gets the start tonight for St. Louis, and this will be his 14th start of the year. We talked about it in the open. You take away that first start against the New York Mets, and since that time, Jim Edmonds, he has been outstanding.
Yeah, he's pitching like we know he's capable of, and you said it, one bad outing, and now you got the guy that you expect, and the guy that they've been ready to lean on. You see the Hyundai pitch arsenal, the fastball, changeup, cutter, and curveball. The fastball is the pitch, right? The curveball will come. It's getting better, and everything works off that fastball. So if he establishes that fastball early, he's going to be tough on these Cubs.
It's an important weekend for both teams. Joe Maddon's Cubs come in at 38-27. Albert Almora Jr. at the top, followed by Chris Bryant, and then Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras, Kyle Schwarber, Javi Baez, Addison Russell, Ian Happ, and the pitcher batting ninth, John Lester. It's an athletic lineup, and they're still looking for help at the top of the lineup. Who fills in that spot ever since the departure of Dexter Fowler? But you look at the middle. For Joe Maddon, he's got Bryant, Rizzo, Contreras, Schwarber, Baez. It's loaded. It's a good lineup. The question right now, can they pitch? The Cardinals have very good starting pitching. We'll see what happens this weekend. We take a look at our keys to the game. Pretty simple. It's a weekend test, really, for both these teams.
It's going to be a grind, not only because these two teams are pretty good and the rivalry, but we're going to have some heat to go along with it, and I think we're going to have a good crowd, so both teams can feed off of that.
And you know there'll be a lot of Cubby blue in the seats here in St. Louis. Albert Almora Jr. leads it off against Michael Wacha. He's batting .314. He's popped a couple of home runs and driven in 17 on the year. The Cubs start play game and a half back of Milwaukee. The Cardinals 4 out in the Central. And the first pitch is a ground ball. Nice hands. Down at third on the backhanded play by Matt Carpenter, and there's one away. Playing in and tested here in the first inning.
Better be ready to go from the first pitch on. I mean, it's like you said, this Cubs group got a bunch of good athletes, and Joe Maddon can move that lineup around any way he wants. He had Chris Bryant leading off a week or two ago. I mean, when you do that, you know you got some people to work with, so just better be ready to go.
He's done that with Anthony Rizzo as well, and that's 2 pitches and 2 strikes.
And that's more or less for his own benefit. That's him trying to get his guys going, and maybe if he feels if he throws the lineup out of whack, guys will kind of have fun with it for that day. You still got the same group out there, right? Still capable of scoring runs, so put them a little bit out of position and get their thought process to change. Just go out there and have fun.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Well, Chris Bryant made his debut April 17th of 2015. Since then, he's been an MVP, the Rookie of the Year, and among all third basemen in the game. First in runs scored, first in on base percentage, nearly 400. Good pitch, and it's 1-2. I know we say it a lot. It's an improving curveball. I think we should be done with that. It's a good curveball.
Yeah, he's made a huge adjustment over the last couple years, and it was improving. And yeah, you're right. He's got a good curveball now.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Bryant. Coming up in the second inning, we'll have a visit with Ken Rosenthal, one of the great writers of this wonderful game of baseball. Works at The Athletic and also will be on the call of Fox Saturday Baseball tomorrow. 3-2 the count on Bryant. I don't know if you feel this way, Jimmy, but watching Chris Bryant, it's almost like a left-handed swing. The lift that he gets, almost uppercuts.
Talks about being able to stay inside and get the hands through, but uppercut, something he's always had. And you're right, it makes it look so easy too with that power.
And a swing and a miss, a strikeout of Chris Bryant, 2 away.
Good pitch by Michael Wacha right here. See the cutter. That's where you kind of want to pitch him. You want to keep the ball in tight, but you want to get him out away, stay away from him, make him hit the ball into the biggest part of the ballpark. And we all see that kind of pop. He goes to left field. So I'm staying away from him if I get a chance.
The numbers for Rizzo against Wacha: 18 for 40. That's a .450 average, 3 home runs, and only 3 strikeouts. And there's strike 1. They're aggressive here early on, at least the beginning. All 3 batters have swung at the first pitch. And the 0-1. And I'm way out in front, 0-2. Fastball command, which you've talked about now a couple of times for Michael Wacha, just sets up everything else.
You got to be able to spot it when you need to spot it, be able to get it up in the zone a little bit. But strikes are important. Strikes inside, strikes outside.
The 0-2 pitch, and it's in the dirt.
If you can't get the hitter to think fastball in, strike, that off-speed stuff, it just isn't the same.
And the 1-2 hit fair inside the third base line, off the sidewall. Rizzo will stop at first base, held to a single. And the batter will be the cleanup man, Wilson Contreras. The Cardinals right now are 4-1 against the Cubs. They're 9-1 against Cincinnati. And it's success within the division helping them keep pace with both Milwaukee and Chicago. You win at home, you win inside your division. That's a pretty good combination.
Make it a lot easier for sure. Definitely want to be able to pick up games inside your division. You're beating up on the other teams. You're always putting a little distance between yourself and whoever you're beating.
Rizzo is off and running, and Wacha throws it away. He goes to second. He's picked off. And Rizzo to third base. And Michael right now just kicking himself.
This will be a little test right here for Michael Wacha to shake this off as you see this play. Anthony Rizzo just taking a chance, trying to get to second base with 2 outs. Michael Wacha just was in between. Sometimes it's your mind saying one thing and your body's doing something else.
So it's a stolen base and an error on Wacha, his first of the year. If he steps off and just looks, he would see that Rizzo was halfway between first and second. And now an 0-1 pitch to Contreras. 0-2.
That's the pitch right there he's got to establish today. That fastball middle in, but in. You get guys to start swinging at that. The breaking ball and the changeup are going to be successful.
Outfield deep, they are straight away. Contreras with 4 home runs this season, and he's driven in 22. Very aggressive hitter. And you would think because he's aggressive, he might be susceptible to a very good changeup.
For sure, especially if you start challenging inside. Just going to speed the hitter up, and time you're a little bit quicker, you don't see the breaking ball as well or the changeup as well.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Contreras. Fights it off. Little bloop, and it's foul, and not by much. Michael Wacha got the first hitter on 1 pitch, a backhanded play by Matt Carpenter. He struck out Bryant. Rizzo the single off the sidewall in left field. And now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Wilson Contreras.
Good spot for the breaking ball right here. Try to throw the cutter away, but threw it way too far off the plate. Throw a tight breaking ball. He's got to respect that fastball he's throwing inside. Maybe go with the changeup here.
And it's in the dirt. Went with the changeup.
The changeup right there did give himself a chance. So just experimentation, right? As it goes on, as the game goes on, you get your pitches better. You're working on things still. You get in the feel, but you're also trying to figure out how far you have to throw each pitch. Will they bite the pitch way down in the dirt, or has it got to get closer? And got a guy on third base. You want to be a little bit more careful. So just trying to get him to reach.
The 2-2. Check swing. Did not go. 3-2. Kyle Schwarber at the on deck circle. The Cubs and Cardinals, it's June, but still it has a different feel at the ballpark. Place is packed on a hot, steamy night here in the Midwest. Pitch number 18 here at the top of the first coming up for Michael Wacha. And this gives you an idea of the importance of the game and maybe the feel of the game. A mound visit here in the first inning.
Well, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but I thought Yachty could have gone to the mound in a certain situation. I thought he would have if they didn't have those mound visits being kind of kept track of. But every now and then, like I said, you have to know what the pitcher's comfortable with, and you want him to just know that that's the pitch that's coming. You throw your pitch, let's not think about anything else.
And the 3-2 got him to reach, and a foul ball.
There's something about the catcher going out there to ask him what do you feel comfortable with instead of throwing down fastball. Because if you throw down fastball and he really wants to throw the changeup, he might not want to shake you off, might not be comfortable. Throw down the breaking ball. I mean, he doesn't want to shake too many times, right? So you just eliminate all that stuff by just going out there and asking, what do you feel like this is your best pitch right here?
The 3-2 again. Hit sharply to third, but Carpenter is there. Makes the play. The stretch by Voit stays on the bag. The Cubs strand a runner. We move to the home half of the first. No score here at Busch Stadium. In a weekend series in over 100 years. This is what it's all about. A weekend series between these two teams.
You said that and I was thinking that was a bizarre stat. And what was the reason for it?
I don't know. They had some different alignment issues with various stadiums and cities, but these teams need to play on a weekend. Carpenter, Bader, and Pham. Ozuna, Molina, Jerko, Voit, Munoz, and Waka for St. Louis. Here's John Lester. This will be his 14th game. He's 7-2, and he's getting better as this season goes forward. Matt Carpenter just 5 for 37, the Hyundai pitch arsenal. You think of John Lester, you think durability, and you think about that cutter.
And you think about a winner.
Yes. Won 2 world championships in Boston, and another with the Cubs. Hit sharply to second. There's Javi Baez. One away. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Schwarber, Almora, and Happ in the outfield. On the infield, Bryant, Russell, Baez, and Rizzo. Wilson Contreras, an absolute gun. He's behind the plate. Well, I'm sure for some Cub fans it's a bit surprising to see Dexter Fowler on the bench. But at this point, with a lefty on the mound, his struggles against left-handed pitching, Bader has been much better in this spot, and Bader gives you very good defense. It's just a move that makes sense.
Well, whether it makes sense or not, I think you're starting to see Harrison Bader start to get comfortable and become a good player, and so you got to get him in the lineup. You got speed, you got defense, and what that does is it gives you an advantage. He's got some power, but really I think the whole key is just the excitement of the speed. It can do anything at any time.
Here's a 1-1. Fouled back. 5 games against the Cubs this year. He's 5 for 16 with 5 runs scored. They're the numbers against lefties. And for whatever reason, Bader's been very good against the Central Division. 30 games hitting above 300. Against anybody else outside the division, 195 the average. One of the oddities of his year. That's what we're talking about. Good numbers inside the Central. When he plays, it just seems like things happen. Motion, activity, great defensive plays. Hits it out to center, but Almora is there with the catch. It's 2 hard hit balls here in the first inning. The Cardinals beginning tonight a tough, and I mean a tough, stretch of baseball. Between today and the 4th of July, it's the toughest strength of schedule in Major League Baseball. The 4th toughest behind Tampa Bay, Boston, Kansas City, and then the Cardinals. So this is a tough time to begin. The Cubs, then on the road at Philly, at Milwaukee. You've got Cleveland, Atlanta, at Arizona. So you might find out who the Cardinals are here in this stretch of baseball.
Definitely will be a interesting sign to see if they can step it up. A lot of people talked about and play real well against the teams at the bottom of the barrel. So we'll see. Maybe sometimes you just need to be pushed a little bit and see how they respond.
Here's the 0-2 pitch and a grounder that's pulled foul. Chicago, the best run differential. Philly's best home record in the National League. Milwaukee atop the division along with Cleveland, Atlanta, and Arizona. Got to play him sometime. Now they get them all in a row. Tommy Pham with an 8-game hitting streak on the line tonight. And the 1-2 pitch. Strikeout of Pham. Coming up, we'll visit with Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic, and he'll be on the call of Fox Saturday Baseball tomorrow. and the Cubs battle Matt Carpenter and the Cardinals. Coverage begins at 6:30 on Fox, or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Part of that coverage will be Ken Rosenthal, who joins us. The first pitch is taken high by Kyle Schwarber. And Ken, you're writing for The Athletic, so you're chasing down every type of story going on there, plus doing the game of the week. Welcome back to St. Louis, by the way.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Busy time of year, isn't it?
It's getting there, and certainly as we get past the draft and toward July 31st, now teams start to figure out who they are. It's actually still a little early, Dan. Some teams, the Cardinals being one of them, don't know exactly where they stand, but at least now we're hearing talk, and there's going to be a lot of talk, and there are going to be a lot of trades, because there are every year.
How about the Cardinals? Give me your general assessment of where you think the team is at.
I love their starting pitching. I love the depth of their starting pitching, and a team in that position, it's so rare in this game right now. You would think that team would be a prime time, big time championship contender, and yet offensively they're not where they need to be, and in the bullpen to some extent they're not where they need to be. So in my view, it should get better. I still see them being a contending club, but at some point you've got to play like it. And this last week at home has not been a good show by them at all. Padres, Marlins, etc. So this is a big series, and the next 3-4 weeks are big for them as well.
I'm curious from a national perspective. You talk to so many scouts and team executives. What are people saying about Jordan Hicks?
They like him.
There's a lot
to
to
have
like.
him. Other teams would like to have him. Clearly the question with him is just how to best utilize him.
Yeah.
Because you've got such a weapon there. It's tempting for Matheny to use him in big spots, in lengthy spots, and we all know how delicate these situations can be. But what I love about them is they just keep churning out guys. I mean, you look at teams, and I study a lot of different teams. And last week, for example, I wrote about the Mets. They wish they had one draft like the Cardinals have had the last 5 or 6 years. They had one good one in 2011. That was Nimmo, Lugo, Gesellman, and a few others. But I would put some of the Cardinals' recent drafts above those.
Absolutely.
And they keep producing players, and it's a very special thing that they are able to do.
I thought you had a terrific piece, and there's a walk to Javi Baez. You had the chance on The Athletic to visit with the Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred. What did you take away from that conversation?
Well, there was so much. The biggest takeaway for me was his willingness and openness to entertain new ideas. He basically said, and this was the first time I heard him say it this strongly, that the rise of analytics has produced certain trends that now will force the game to look at itself inwardly and ask, okay, is this the product we want? And that is a question that a lot of people in the game are debating, a lot of people in the media are debating. A good number of fans don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
They like baseball the way it is, but at the same time, you saw the attendance figures come out today, and they're down. Now, they're not down for any one reason. It's not pace of play. It's not the entertainment product alone. But this is a forward-thinking commissioner. And if there are things they can do, they will do them. Now, the question is, what do you do? How do you do it? What are the unintended consequences of such moves? And that is where they are right now.
Reading between the lines, where do you think he might go?
I'm really curious, Dan, to see what they do about shifts. And it's an odd thing because shifting became more popular.
And there's a double play. And do you mind staying with us?
Not at all.
I mean, quick innings, sometimes
Real
it
quick.
happens. A double play on the hit and run. Russell hits into the double play, in and out of the glove of Bader. However, we were going back to shifts, which is something that is front and center for fans and the sport.
Right, and it certainly seems like something is going to happen with shifts. Now, I don't know what it is, and the commissioner wouldn't tell me what he had in mind, but he did say that we've all talked about how the hitters will adjust, how the game will kind of recycle itself as we go along.
I'm one of those guys.
That hasn't happened.
I know.
And it's a 10-year trend of reduction in balls in play. And that's a problem. There needs to be more action. We need to see more balls in play and guys throwing people out. All kinds of things that, of course, happen when the ball is actually hit in fair territory. So, again, I don't know where he goes with it, but there are a lot of ideas being bandied about. Keeping everyone on the dirt is one possibility. Keeping 2 infielders on each side of the bag, also another possibility. And I know, yes, the analytics have done this great job of really getting in hitters' heads and ruining them, but that doesn't mean it's the best entertainment product, and that has to be a consideration.
I think that I speak for the majority of fans in Cardinals Nation that would not like to see the DH in the National League. However, it just seems like the momentum is going that way, especially if you have expansion. DH is coming.
Jason Stark of The Athletic wrote about that this week, and
Molina yanks that foul down the left field line.
He basically said if you go to 32 teams, which seems to be where they're going, if they can straighten out Oakland and Tampa Bay, then do you break up the leagues once and for all because of scheduling reasons and all these favorable things that would happen. I understand people who don't want a DH. I have always felt that there are very few pitchers who are worth watching as hitters. And we have seen pitchers like Adam Wainwright get injured hitting. To me, it's not worth it. Now, there's the strategy concern, and that's a legitimate one. It is a little bit of a different game in the National League, but at this point, I have always been in favor of the DH in both. Well, not always. I mean, it hasn't been around forever.
Right.
But I am in favor of it. I know my colleague, Tom Ferducci, violently, I should say, opposes DH in both leagues. He wants to see National League rules. He'd rather see National League rules in both leagues.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Are enough of the national writers behind the idea, if you did a poll right now, that Yadier Molina is a future Hall of Famer?
I can't speak for them. I can only speak for myself. He's a Hall of Famer.
Agreed.
And I don't even have to look at the numbers. In a sense, they don't even matter to me. I know his impact on this team all these years. And I'll even factor in what he did in the World Baseball Classic a couple of years ago, because that almost to me was the most vivid example yet of what he can do. He kind of took Team Puerto Rico with a young pitching staff all the way to the finals. Now, we've seen him do that with the Cardinals. We've seen them in the World Series. And yeah, he has had that kind of impact. He's one of the best defensive catchers probably of all time.
Sure.
So I'm sure there will be some people saying, what is offensive numbers is war? Yeah, I get it. I've watched the guy play. He's a Hall of Famer.
Agreed. 1 out, and here's Jed Jerko, and that's fouled back. How active do you see teams being, let's say, in particular, Manny Machado in Baltimore and some of the other bigger names that are out there right now? Is the trade deadline, as you mentioned, not that far away?
Active. And I don't expect necessarily a lot of trades before the last week, before the deadline. It just seems the way the game goes every year. There's always talk, oh, this will be the year there are early trades, and except for Seattle, which had motivation to make a trade, we haven't seen it, at least not yet. We may see a couple before July 31st. That seems to be a trend, but the deadline is what drives the action. And also teams want to know who they are. So I do expect a lot. The Orioles alone have a number of players. The Royals, who are active right now, have a number of players. We're going to see some things happen. There's no question about it. It's every year that it happens.
I'm curious what you thought of this past postseason for, say, guys like Greg Holland, signed late. And then that's number one. Number two, crystal ball, what do you think about Bryce Harper and where he goes?
Certainly pitchers like Holland who signed late, in many cases, for reasons outside their control. I'm not so sure that was the case with Holland in Colorado, but okay. Lance Lynn, Alex Cobb, Greg Holland, for the most part, except for Jake Arrieta, they have struggled, at least initially. Lynn has come around. He's pitched much better in the last 5 starts or so. So if I were a free agent pitcher next year, I try to get signed. Now, it was a terrible market. We all know that, and there's two sides to every story. So it's easy to say, oh, these guys should have signed, but the offers obviously weren't to their liking, but they're going to have to adjust their thinking going forward. Bryce Harper, for anyone to predict where he would go, they would be mistaken. I will only predict that he will go where he is offered the most money.
Yeah.
And this is a player who thinks of himself in a larger sense. And I mean this in a good way. I know a lot of people don't like Bryce Harper. They think he's too much. But he has a vision of himself as a great superstar player. And that kind of player wants the biggest contract. So we'll have to see how he performs the rest of the year. Right now, his batting average is .224. He's hitting well otherwise, 19 home runs, big OPS for the most part. But if he goes into free agency with a .224 average, it'll be a little bit different.
Does he get to 400?
I don't know about that. And what he has on his side, what Machado has on his side, is age.
Yeah.
And that is such a big trend in the game right now. The teams have made it loud and clear that they do not like older free agents. That means they should like younger free agents. And that is why you might see a big deal for both him and Machado.
The 2-2 is hit out of play. You've got Milwaukee, Chicago, St. Louis. Size up the Central, and then basically also tell me what each team, in your opinion, needs to do.
Milwaukee's starting pitcher. They pitched really well. They just shut down the Cubs 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And I have kind of sold them short in the rotation all year long, and that's a little bit unfair the way they've performed. They've got something going on with game planning. I don't know what it is. I'm going to find out, too.
I'm sure you will.
Because they, in my view, and I think in the view of others in the game, have outperformed their talent level.
Yes.
From a standpoint of starting pitching. Now, so that's them, starting pitching. The Cardinals, bullpen.
Yeah.
Given the injuries that have occurred and everything else going on, they could, of course, use another bat. And maybe they should disrupt this a little bit and bring in a third baseman or whatever it might be to kind of get themselves into a more offensively oriented place. The return of DeJong would help, of course. So bullpen first, then a bat. And then the Cubs, I'm not sure they need much of anything. They're obviously going to get Darvish back. They need him to pitch better. They're going to get Chatwood back. They need him to pitch better. But I don't see them necessarily trading for a starting pitcher. And Machado, there was all that talk early. In my view, other teams will be more motivated.
You think
They've
so?
got Addison Russell.
Right.
Addison Russell, last I looked, was leading the majors in defensive runs saved at shortstop. I think they can live with him.
They got a pretty good third baseman,
And they've got a pretty good third baseman, and they've got guys who can play when they're not there.
Right.
So I would say pitching, probably bullpen, even though their bullpen has been outstanding. They're always creative. Theo Epstein is always a guy to watch at the deadline.
What is it like being Ken Rosenthal at the trade deadline? Give me the 48 hours leading up to that. You sleep?
No, not much. It's pretty tense.
I bet.
And I'd like to say it's fun, and I'm sure people think, oh my gosh, you must be having so much fun, but you're trying to figure out what's going on, and I always tell people it's kind of like being in the middle of a hurricane, and you feel like you're getting hit from all sides, and you don't know what's going on in 90% of the cases, and it's really difficult. That said, the action is exhilarating. Now, hopefully, in most cases, I'm aware of what's going on, and I can be part of the action and reporting it. If I'm not, it's not as exhilarating, but when you see things start to move, that can be a lot of fun. And the year Lester got traded for Cespedes, and there were some other things, big things that happened that year. David Price, this was a couple of years ago. That was some deadline.
Yeah.
And then last year, it was kind of dead. And then right at the end, at 4:06 or whatever, that's when we all found out about Darvish going to the Dodgers. So it's quite unusual, and people talk about moving it back to August 15th and moving it up. I don't know. It works pretty well as it is.
In general, both National and American leagues, what team do you like? Hard not to like the Astros, right, with their pitching?
Really hard not to like the Astros. The Yankees and Red Sox are really good, too.
Yeah.
The American League is the rich and the poor. There are some really, really good teams, those three. And then everyone else is not as good, including Cleveland. They have not played well. Their bullpen has been a mess. The National League, I do like the Cubs. I do expect the Nationals to be better. Murphy came back this week. So did Eaton. They should take off at some point. And I don't know what to make of the West. I've lost any feel for what is actually going on there. I thought the Dodgers were done, and they weren't.
Tough play here, and it's off the glove of Bryant. You can see that was about to eat him up. So Voit is aboard, and it brings in Jairo Munoz. This was a deal that really flew under the radar, where Stephen Piscotty goes to Oakland, and the majority of people, and rightfully so, looked at the situation that Stephen was in on a personal level and thought, well, that's a good fit, obviously, go back home. But it still was a baseball deal, and the Cardinals got some pretty good pieces back.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And both teams got a lot of praise, and justifiably so, for quote-unquote doing the right thing. But it wasn't as if this was a charitable effort.
That's right.
The Cardinals got 2 players that they like. Here's one of them. Schrock is the other. He's doing well.
Yes.
He looks like he'll be a big leaguer. So for Piscotty, who had all those years of control, this was, as you said, Dan, a good baseball trade. And yes, it was great to get Piscotty back home, especially with what happened.
Sure.
Losing his mom just last month. But to think it was simply, oh, 2 teams acting nice, that's not generally how it works, and it's not how it worked in this case.
Runners at first and second after the error by Bryant. So you got the bow tie ready for tomorrow?
I do.
And what will be being represented tomorrow?
It is Southeast Missouri Challenge Baseball, and it's an organization.
I know those folks.
Yes, and they use baseball to help kids who are in need.
Yes.
Basically, and it's kind of a perfectly timed one, given that we're here in St. Louis. So looking forward to wearing that one. It's a nice one too. Baseball's on it. One of the better ones.
You're proud of it?
I like it.
Okay.
Some of them my wife doesn't like very much, and she says it's hard to match up, and I understand that, but we've gone too far with it.
Well, John Mozeliak, I'm sure, appreciates the bow tie.
He wears it well.
Yes, he does.
Probably better than I do.
Wears that to honor his grandfather.
Yes, he does.
1 ball, 1 strike on Jairo Munoz. You know, the Cardinals have Molina, DeYoung. Obviously, Fowler hasn't been to the level that they expected. Yet Carpenter get off to a slow start, but yet through it all, they're right in the thick of things here in the Central. The 1-1 pitch hit up the middle, across the diamond, and a tough play by Javi Baez. Boy, is he some defensive player. Ken, this has been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Love the work on the Athletic, too.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Great job. He'll be on the call tomorrow for Fox Saturday Baseball.
his left hand on May 17th. He's missed about 25 games since then. He says he's been kind of miserable about it. He told me, "I never really knew what it's like to watch from the bench. It's not for me." The young has been cleared to do most baseball-related activities. He says he hasn't been swinging the bat much yet, but expects to start doing some hitting next week. As for a target for a return date, Dan, the young told me early July, the earlier the better, but he's on track.
Yeah, early July, that would be right before the All-Star break. Be nice to see him, Jimmy Edmonds, back before the break and get that pop back in the lineup.
Yeah, he said he was doing pretty good the other day when I talked to him.
Uh-oh. This one out to right. Off the bat of Ian Happ and a long home run. The switch hitter makes it 1-0 Chicago. Home run number 9 for Ian Happ.
This looks like a changeup up right here, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like every time I watch Ian Happ play against the Cardinals, he's hitting a home run.
Good player. Can swing it. .418 feet off the bat. Here's John Lester, who's batting .143 with no home runs, and he's driven in 3. Four for 28 this year. And the 2-1 pitch. And the 3-1 is a grounder that's hit to second. Handled by Jed Jerko. That's out number 1. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ozuna, Pham, and Bader in the outfield. Carpenter, Munoz, Jerko, and Voit on the infield. And Yadier Molina is behind the plate. That was Happ's first home run since May 22nd. First RBI since June 2nd. And a pitch taken low back to the top of the lineup. The curveball taken in the dirt. And that is tap foul. Albert Almora Jr. one pitch and then swung and grounded out to third. A very good defensive player, can play all 3 outfield spots, and he's now in that position as center just about every single night. Liner and a base hit into right field. Another pitch that's up.
Even just a little bit up. The ball's usually when Michael Walker gets hurt, the ball's elevated a little bit, but it gets a little flat. It doesn't have that straight down angle. He's not getting on top as much. But the other thing too is just not getting the ball back on the inner half of the plate. You've got to either get it out or get it in, and that ball's getting too much of the plate right there. That's a good job of hitting right there too by Almora Jr. Got to give the hitter credit sometimes, right?
No question.
Especially when you hit a line drive the other way.
Here's Chris Bryant, and he looks at a bowl low. Bryant now 0 for his last 17, the longest hitless streak of his career. And back in safely Almora, 1 stolen base this year. Here's a 1-0 pitch. High fly ball out to deep left and a long home run. 2 home runs in the inning and a 3-0 Chicago lead. Home run number 9 for Chris Bryant.
Take a look right there. Missed back out over the plate. Just a nice short swing, and a guy that big hits it a square on the barrel. It's going to go a long way.
And now Rizzo. Since May 1st, Anthony Rizzo with 37 driven in. Got off to a very slow start. Was on the DL at one point. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. But you know, with guys like Rizzo and Bryant, some of the others in this lineup, it's only a matter of time.
Well, and that's the thing. Talk about establishing the fastball, right? He established the fastball early in, and then now it's like it's easy to get comfortable and just kind of go away, throw the breaking ball. But what we talk about a lot in this program is if you don't go back inside, you don't give anything to the hitter to speed back up. And Happ's ball, middle away, middle. The next pitch, base hit to right field, is out over the plate, and then that pitch that Bryant missed right down the middle. So you got to keep the hitters honest every at bat, or you got to literally pound them until they start to pull off. When you do that, you give them something to think about. If you don't do that in the future, they don't have to think about it, but then that means you have to make a better pitch.
Now Rizzo hit by the pitch.
Take a look at the pitches right here. Middle, he got nothing to think about but the fastball down the middle, and he hits it. Right here, same thing, trying to go in but doesn't get it in there. Another home run. But the balls are up. These are big league hitters, so you can't miss, but especially can't miss if you don't establish inside. And what I was trying to say is you have to make, when you don't establish inside, when you throw the pitch that you're supposed to throw, it might be the right pitch the right time, but if you don't get it to where you're supposed to get it, it's going to get hit.
9th time that Rizzo's been hit by a pitch. Ooh, good play by Luke Voigt. Very close to being the second error on Michael Wacha with Rizzo on the bases.
Luke Voigt making a nice play and actually making it really close.
Sure did.
Something to be said for having some good hands over there.
Cardinals taking a long look at this. Chris Bryant's home run measured at 448 feet. Rizzo, by the way, 9th time, as I said, hit by a pitch. He had 24 to lead the league a year ago.
That's a lot.
Well, he hovers over the plate. Guys want to go in. He just turns his shoulder, and there you go. Easier said than done, though, right?
I mean, you watch these guys and the pitchers, and all the best ones, they still miss location. So when they go in, when they go away, the ball will tail back over the plate. You don't throw it where you want. You know if you throw it too far in, you're going to hit him. They don't want to hit these guys. They're not trying to hit the hitter. But when you miss, and if you miss a little bit on the inner half of the guy like that, it's going to hit him. He's not moving. He's over the plate. That's his game. And if he'll take the hit by pitch, then that's fine. More power to him.
Rizzo running, hit and run was on. Carpenter across the diamond. And that's out number 2.
You can't really say anything negative about the way he plays the game, and you can't say anything negative about Michael Wacha trying to get a cutter inside. It's just part of the game. If that's the two things that are happening, you're going to get that as the end result, which is going to be a hit by pitch. If you miss just a little bit inside with him standing at the plate. Anyone else? No big deal.
How aggressive the Cubs have been in this game, swinging early in counts. That's now the second hit and run.
Well, it makes sense. I think it's a good job of a game plan by them. You do not want to get to Michael Wacha's breaking ball, cutter, and changeup. Throws a lot of first pitch fastballs. And same thing by Joe Madden. I think he wants his team to swing the bat early in the count.
And they do so here with Schwarber. And it's fouled back in a souvenir.
If you have a good pitcher on the mound and he's going to establish his fastball, you got to swing at it. You do not want to hit split finger fastballs and changeups.
Well, tonight we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Already $1.8 million has been raised. HomeRunChallenge.org to donate. It's 9 of 14 first pitch strikes by Michael Wacha. Hit out of play, nothing in 2.
You can see right there just a little bit, taking a little bit off, changeup right there to hit, but it's just enough to keep you off balance. I mean, this pitch can be hit right here, but it's a decent changeup. That's a fastball. He's all over it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to get to that stuff. It's hard enough to hit the fastball. You don't want to hit changeups, cutters, and curveballs.
Oh, 2 the count with 2 outs. And that's tapped foul. Just wonder if Schwarber has a position. Young man drafted out of the Cincinnati area, catcher. He's tried to play the outfield. Does fine, admirable job. But the idea is you want this big bat in that lineup.
I'll tell you what, he's not playing in an easy outfield either. Chicago. I mean, it's gotten a lot better. They've done an amazing job at the stadium and the field. The nighttime, the lights are not good. It's a tough place to play.
And a grounder that's hit to Jerko, but a big inning for Chicago. Ian Happ with a solo home run, and Chris Bryant a 2-run shot. 3-0 midway through 3. And older will take home a Carlos Martinez mystery hair bobblehead courtesy of AT&T. Which one of the Saname's hairstyles will you take home? Tickets at Cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Michael Wacha. John Lester, for many an inspirational story, was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma back in 2006. At that time, he was with the Red Sox and a rookie. Came back in 2007, immediately quite good, 4-0 in 11 starts, and won the clinching game of that year's World Series against the Colorado Rockies. He started the Never Quit Foundation, which helps out children specifically that are battling cancer. And he also helped out his first baseman when those two were in Boston, and that's Anthony Rizzo. And a ball low, and it's 2-2. And the 2-2 is hit to short. Russell backhands and fires to first and out. The Cardinals will take a look. Russell really took his time. I think he beat it out. And that should not happen. He's safe.
Well, give all the credit in the world to Michael Wacha. Even though he should be out, he ran hard the whole way. And how many times do we see that? Not very often, especially for the pitcher.
And John Lester is not happy. I mean, he knows if the Cardinals are challenging this with the pitcher running, they've got evidence that will overturn this. And he's not happy. I mean, Russell was very nonchalant with it. I'm sure he took into account it's the pitcher. He's going to just, put the head down and run, but not very hard. Like you said, give Michael Wacha a lot of credit. He's safe. He is not happy. Now, he's not showing up his teammate, but we've seen John Lester enough to know that he's frustrated. And it's ruled a base hit, so the second hit of the year for Michael Wacha, and for the Cardinals, their first base hit of the night. Here's Carpenter and a ball. I mean, it is a hot night. Michael Wacha is pouring down sweat. Give him credit for beating that out.
I mean, he just opened up some eyes right there. And bad news is now he's got to run them all hard.
And now you go to 2-0.
Now you can steal second. Keep on going.
Rizzo with a left-handed bat at the plate, and Carpenter playing behind Michael Wacha, his runner at first base. Nobody out. 2 balls and no strikes.
I mean, to be honest with you, unless he breaks in behind him, he can't even throw the ball to first base, even if he wanted to.
And the 2-1. 2-2. Carpenter, first time up, grounded out sharply to second baseman Javier Baez. Carpenter still has not grounded into a double play this season. And this time he strikes out. Arcia drive to success. Minimum 15 starts against the Cardinals. Lowest ERA against St. Louis since 1920. And John Lester sits at 2.22 coming into play tonight. His third strikeout, and he's allowed just 1 hit. Bader lined out first time up. One of Lester's best abilities is availability, durability. Became a full-time starter with Boston. Since that time, he's made at least 31 starts every year. That goes all the way back to 2008. 10 straight seasons of pitching every 5th day. And the 1-0. Breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-1.
That's amazing if you think about it. Just
Sure
think about
is.
our team this year, or any team. Be able to go out there every 5th day, take the ball.
His career numbers 166 and 94. And a grounder to Russell. Out at second in the stretch by Baez, with Bader hustling down the line. And it brings in Tommy Pham. See Walker get a nice handshake, couple of high fives. You appreciate hustle.
Not hard to do, but hard to come by.
There's Tommy Pham, struck out looking back in the first with a fastball. Bader started towards second, and now he's picked off. And that's the way things are going tonight.
He makes a good decision right here. He just doesn't get back. And he's safe.
He is safe. John Lester, by the way, has allowed 5 stolen bases this season. And that is surprising because he doesn't throw over with his issues of throwing back over to first base. And that's tied for 32nd among pitchers in Major League Baseball, 14th in the National League.
I just watched this replay on the scoreboard, and I'm just wondering sometimes when the umpire's standing right on top of that he can see him miss all the way around until he gets to the helmet, how he can call him out. Unless he did. I don't even know if he ever touched him.
Now somebody may be saying the laces could have gotten him. Laces are not part of the glove. Keep that in mind. That is something that some may believe that while your lace gets the base runner. That is not the case. It's got to be the glove that gets it.
I'm just not sure he ever touched him. He looked like he did, but
yeah,
from that other angle, that was a pretty good angle we had there for a second. Good slide by Bader. This angle right here is really good.
I'm not sure he got him. Going to call him out.
Couldn't tell if they got him on the arm or not, so they got to stick with it.
Pickoff number 3 for Contreras, 13th of his career. We played 3, and the Cubs on top. Day 30,000 fans 16 and older take home an adult bucket hat courtesy of Coca-Cola. Kids can do that as well. And that's presented by Powerade. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Deep in the hole, Munoz to first and safe. Baez is aboard with an infield hit. On base for the second time to go along with a walk.
It was a great play by Munoz right here. Look how quick he gets rid of this ball. Baez hustling all the way and can obviously run. Tough play by Luke Voigt, but he's safe anyways.
Baez with 12 stolen bases this year, only been caught one time. Addison Russell lined into a double play back in the second inning. Put the hit and run on and lined it into right. A reminder that our next telecast will be Monday from Philly. Next 2 days will be on national TV. Carlos Martinez, Kyle Hendricks tomorrow. Jack Flaherty, Jose Quintana. That'll be on Sunday. It's Russell showing bunt with the 8th place hitter on deck, and then the pitcher's spot. And for those that have just joined us, the 2 in the dirt behind second base. We remember and honor the great Red Schoendienst. Beautiful service today here in downtown St. Louis. Here's a 1-0. Fouled back. Wonderful ceremony for Red Schoendienst. Lou Brock and so many Hall of Famers were here. Willie McGee and Bob Gibson. Many of the current Cardinal players as well. The speakers at the service were tremendous, from Red's family to Bill DeWitt, Jeff Idelson from the Hall of Fame, Mike Shannon. It's a beautiful picture of Red's family all gathered around his statue. And tonight he's in our thoughts and prayers and the Red Schoendienst family. 2-1 pitch and a great jump, and it's hit out of play. Cardinals catch a break. 2-2. The jump terrific for Javi Baez, but tonight we're thinking about Red Schoendienst and the Hall of Famer, Mr. Cardinal. Two-two pitch. See if they want to do some running here on 3-2. Good speed with Baez at first base. He is running, and the pitch is pulled foul. You have been on both sides of this rivalry at this ballpark, Cubs and Cardinals. Doesn't get much better, does it?
No, it's awesome. How many times do you come to the ballpark, being the home team or the visiting team, and getting cheered? And just the electricity in the stadium on both sides, I think, is fantastic. It's fantastic for baseball. It's awesome to play home and on the road. It's just, there's nothing better.
3-2 pitch again by Michael Wacha. And that'll be a walk in his second of the night that he's issued.
Michael Wacha's really struggled with his changeup tonight. It's 3 in a row right there, and 2 of them not even close.
Back in the third inning, Ian Happ with a solo home run to get the Cubs on the board. That was a changeup as well. Normally that changeup went right. You see also a lot of downward action with it going away from a lefty.
It's just staying up today. He's kind of lost the downward pull to it. He's not getting on top of it.
And a ground ball. Voit to second. And runners at the corners. So Voit was able to get one.
This might be the 4th changeup in a row. A little bit better. Luke Voit trying to get the lead runner. It's gonna be an interesting play right there. It's like that ball was just hit hard enough to try to get 2, but yet you know how well everyone runs. You don't want to do too much with Baez running from second to home. Try to make too good of a play. You might have him trying to make a play at home.
We're seeing Lou Brock today. It made me think about this date in baseball history, 1964. Lou Brock acquired from the Chicago Cubs. There's a rare throw over to third. And Brock in St. Louis went on to collect over 2,700 hits. We know over 3,000 in his career. 16 years in St. Louis, 888 steals with the Cardinals. What a deal. Lester swinging and fouls it away. John Lester's really improved himself at the plate. I mean, he was an automatic out.
Oh, he's gotten enough at bats now. He stays in the game for so long, and now he's in the National League. He gets 2-3 at bats every night, where most pitchers are getting 1.
The squeeze is on. Molina has a play. No, not at the plate, but at first, and they throw it away. 1 run is in. Lester to second. No one at the bag, and it's 4-0 Cubs. Boy, initially I thought Yachty may have a play at the plate with the tag.
When you take a look at this right here, I think Yachty's trying for it. He starts to go back, but I'm wondering if he thought Wacha was going to kind of charge and he could flip it to him. But then when he turned to throw, it was weird. He had his feet squared to first. He just didn't make a good throw.
And a nice block there. So his sack, RBI for Lester, and then an error on Molina, his second.
Talk about concentration, right? How you got to be committed to a pitch as a pitcher, committed to something. You could see right there, one of the best catchers ever to play this game. Probably right there was still a little upset that he didn't make the play at the home plate right there. And even something as simple for him, being so good at throwing the ball to first base, doesn't throw the ball on the line.
And the infield is drawn in. Albert Almora Jr. lifts it into the air into left field. The catch made by Ozuna. Another run will score, and that makes it a 5-0 lead. Five 5-0 with John Lester on the mound, and the Cubs are in position A here in game 1. Now Chris Bryant, who had a 2-run homer back in the third. Baez has scored in 7 straight games against the Cardinals, and here's the 2-run shot by Bryant. Here's a 1-0 and a ground ball that's hit to short. Munoz up with it and just in time. Cubs add to their lead. 5-0 Chicago. Children's Hospital and Washington University physicians, guardians of childhood. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Pick your power, fuel, or battery with Steel. Search STIHL. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Tommy Pham was left standing at the plate after Harrison Bader had been picked off. Back in the 3rd inning, and a fastball inside taken for a ball. The Cardinals have 1 hit, and it should not have been a hit, as it was a ground ball hit to Addison Russell. Really took his time with Michael Wacha running, and to Wacha's credit, hustled down the line and beat it out for a base hit. Outside of that, they've had a walk. They reached on an error by Chris Bryant, and that has been it, and they trail 5-0. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Here's Russell to his left and quickly over to first this time. And the batter will be Marcell Ozuna. Nobody on and 1 out. Ozuna with a drive out to left, and the Cardinals get on the board. A line shot and a homer into the bullpen of the Cubs, and then right back out onto the playing field. It's now 5-1, and Ozuna is red hot.
The ball was blistered on the line.
It's now his 6th home run here in the month of June. That's in the top 3 of baseball, and his 15 RBIs now this month lead the National League. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Yadier Molina. That snaps Lester's scoreless streak at 18 1/3. The 1-1. Molina base hit into left. Went down to get it. Here's Jed Jerko, struck out his first time up. He's been in and out of the starting lineup all season long. When he's a starter, he's got 5 home runs. All 5 have been as a starter. 32nd start tonight. He's come off the bench in 19 games. And for some, it's hard to get a rhythm if you're not playing every night.
He does a really good job of staying inside the ball and not trying to do too much. And then when he gets comfortable, he lets it go. So unusual, no doubt, but he literally can go in there without playing for a couple days and have that same swing. As you can see, a little easier to start. Play more often, you get a little bit better feel.
It's funny. I mean, some guys could do that off a bench and still keep a rhythm, not get out of whack, where other guys, man, they have to play every single day to keep that rhythm. That's Schwarber. Remember earlier this year, Schwarber tripped over his own feet, and it looked to be his shoelaces that he got caught up on.
He just did it again.
Yeah.
It was funny because he did get a little off balance, and I was going to say something, but play kept happening, so I just left it alone.
And now the 0-2. Our Lowe's whole team together. Cardinals against the Central, best record inside the division, 10 games above the 500 mark. 14 and 18 against the rest of baseball. And a swing and a miss. Nope, he just got a piece. Cardinals get on the board thanks to Ozuna's home run. He's now driven in an RBI in 6 straight. That matches his career high. Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Milwaukee pounding the Phillies. They're up 8-0. That's in the bottom of the 5th. I think I'm with Ken Rosenthal. I thought their pitching would be okay, but not a strength. But it's been a lot better than expected. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Jed Jerko spoils that pitch. You notice with Lester, a common theme with him, it seems like every 5th day, and it's cliche, but nothing left over the middle of the plate. I mean, he's always around the edges, in and out.
He does a really good job of that. He doesn't miss a whole lot. Part of that being he's not a max effort guy, but he still can get it up with ease to 92, 93, and that is enough for him to get it by you. But he's living on the edge.
from 0-2. And now a 3-2 count. Nine-pitch at bat in the second inning. This is the ninth pitch of this at bat. 3-2. Spoiled. Three-two again. And a grounder that's hit to short. 6-4. 3 on the double play. Marcelo Zuna with home run number 9, RBI number 38. Cardinals get on the board here in the home half of the fourth. His solo homer makes it a 5-1 Chicago lead. Fox Sports Midwest, excited to introduce Erica Weston. Erica, welcome to the Midwest.
Thank you, Dan. I really appreciate it. And I spent some time with Luke Voigt earlier today during batting practice. He was, of course, recalled from AA Springfield, while Jose Martinez is on the paternity list. Now, Voigt did make the transition from catcher to first baseman. He said he didn't put much effort into it at first. If he had to get to the big leagues, obviously my bat would help me get there, but you've got to play defense too. You can't just DH every night. He said he worked hard this offseason with the coaching staff. He worked on getting quicker, leaner, and more athletic, and he said it started translating, something Mike Matheny agreed with and took notice. Dan.
All right, Erica, thank you, and welcome to St. Louis. Great to have you a part of the crew. That's a ground rule double for Rizzo. They'll play it out, but I do believe that's a ground rule double. Looked to be over the wall in right, and that's a base hit for Rizzo. But Bader did the right thing, play it out.
Got a lot of guys not trusting the umpire right there, including Rizzo. Clearly the ball bounces over the wall. But I'll take that with Bader, because I feel that ball bounces back to me like that, I'm trying to throw him out.
Sure.
Maybe he can fool the umpire.
Here's Wilson Contreras, and it's fouled back. Especially in the days prior to replay, you play it out. But clearly a double, and now Contreras, who is 0 for 2. Good to have Erica Weston as a part of our Fox Sports Midwest family. And Luke Voigt, we noticed, just to follow up on her report, came into spring training in great shape. Played at Missouri State, Lafayette High School. And as he pointed out, if he's going to play in the National League, no DH, got to play defense. He's getting better every day. Here's a 1-1. Instead of check on the runner, Rizzo at second base, who's been on base now 3 times with a single, a double, and was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. And the 2-1 fouled back, and a vicious cut there by Contreras. Usually the Cardinals at right around the century mark will take Michael Wacha out of a game one way or another, and he's had 75 pitches on the night. There's Chevy Fox Tracks. A little bit high. And a full count. Schwarber on deck. The 3-2 pitch, and it's taken just a bit low. 3rd walk by Michael Wacha. Injury or illness should never interrupt childhood. St. Louis Children's Hospital, guardians of childhood. We're in the top of the 5th, 5-1 our score. Schwarber at the plate with 2 runners on and nobody out. You struck out looking back in the 2nd and also grounded out 2 second. Jumps on that pitch. High, towering fly ball into center, and it's gone. Long home run. Schwarber. He hit that a ton.
First pitch, breaking ball up in the zone. Nothing to be off speed, and he just stays balanced and hits it a mile. Look at Rizzo, doesn't even know where it's at. I think he might get a little hazing in the dugout after that one, not knowing where that ball lands.
12th home run, and it's now 8-1. Not the way that you envisioned the start of this series. What a disappointing night thus far for the Cardinals. You're expecting a tight game, which is what these two teams have done this year and even last year.
I'll tell you what, I mean, we haven't talked about this yet tonight, but Chili Davis is their hitting coach, and I spoke with him before the game. This guy knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about. It's all about preparation. I like the fact that Joe Madden brought him in, and I can see a little difference in this team right now than as opposed to last year. Well, he's talking before the game about how guys in this league now don't like to think. So he's running them through the thought process before they get to the plate, telling them what to expect, how to expect it, knowing what he throws. Back to what this whole thing started with. The first pitch swings tonight, they're going up there with a purpose, and that is to get to him before he gets to them, before Michael Wacha can get into his pitch selection. And it's the biggest thing you see when guys are hitting, when they struggle, is when you get behind in the count, who knows what's coming, right? If you're up there and you're ahead in the count, or your first pitch, if you get a pitch to hit, you swing. If you don't like it, you take it. Doesn't matter where it is. You get to 2 strikes, you have to protect. You can get fooled. Guys can throw the ball in, throw the ball down, up. You never know with the umpire. Changes the complexity of the entire game for you as a hitter. And I think, talking to Chili Davis today, the addition of him is going to make a big difference.
Mike Myers starting to get loose in the pen. And Yadi, the slow walk out to visit with his starter tonight. I'm sure part of this by design to let Myers get loose. A rare rough start for him here in 2018. Seventeenth appearance for Mike Myers. Kyle Schwarber, that home run measured at 465 feet. We haven't seen many go past the grass on the hill in center, and it was right there. So the runner at first. Here's Addison Russell as we play here in the top of the 5th. 8-1 our score. And a breaking pitch in for a strike. Russell lined into a double play back in the 2nd inning. walked and scored in the fourth. And the 0-1 pitch. Myers to Russell. Ground ball pulled fair inside the third base line and down into the corner. Baez hustling to third. He will score. And Russell in with a stand-up double and an RBI to make it 9-1. And that'll close the book on Michael Wacha. Just inside that third base line past Carpenter, and that's now a 9-1 Chicago lead.
Just snuck it down there to breaking ball that stayed up a little bit. Nothing you can do as the third baseman. Ball gets down to that corner, and you can see a guy like Baez can run. He's got no chance to slow him down.
Here's Ian Happ. And a pitch that's taken up. Carlos Martinez and Kyle Hendricks tomorrow in game 2. Flaherty, Quintana, game 3. And what you'd like to see in this particular spot, clearly length out of Mike Myers. Take some of the innings away from the bullpen, give you 3, maybe 4.
Especially game 1 of a 3-game series.
You bet.
Against the Cubs.
And it's 3-0. John Lester on deck. So Michael Wacha 8 earned tonight. It ties a career high for him in terms of earned runs. 4 innings, 7 hits. 9 runs total, 8 earned, walked 4, hit a man, struck out 2. 3 home runs allowed, 84 pitches tonight for Michael. And the 3-1 pitch, 3-2. And a swing and a miss. A strikeout for Myers.
It's a good job by Yachty right there. You could see that Ian Happ didn't like that call. Don't mess around. Go right back in there. Maybe you get him cheating. Maybe you can get it in off the plate a little bit. Good job.
A check swing and a strike. John Lester at the plate. Sacrifice that drove in a run back in the 4th inning. And then it was an error on Molina, wound up at second base.
Just a little bit off the edge. 9-1. Open it up a little bit.
And the 0-2 pitch with a runner at second base and 1 out. That's in the dirt. You know, on the flip side, you're Joe Madden. You've got a 9-1 lead. You're anticipating that you're a championship club. which means you go into October. There's a lot of mileage on John Lester. And if you can catch every 5th day a time or a break in a season in which you can maybe curtail his workload, this might be one of those nights.
Definitely shave a couple of innings off for sure. But you can't take anything for granted, and I'm sure every manager in baseball will tell you at some point they did that and it got them.
Here's a 1-2 in the dirt, and it's 2-2. So much excitement and anticipation coming into this ball game tonight, and the air has been let out of the stadium with a 9-1 Chicago lead. And the 2-2 pitch put in play by Lester. 2 outs. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of baseball. MLB.tv. Watch baseball live or on demand on his favorite supported devices. Save 50% this Father's Day. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. We will not be on the air tomorrow or Sunday on Fox Midwest, so it's our chance to wish everyone a happy Father's Day, and hopefully you have a great weekend. Albert Almora Jr. with 2 outs and a runner at second base. I know your dad was instrumental in getting you to the big leagues.
Well, let's not talk about my dad. Let's talk about you actually getting a couple of days off.
Looking
at home
forward
to
it.
spend with your family for once.
Absolutely.
But you can count on one hand the weekends you've had off during the season in the last 5 or 6 years.
Not too many, but love being down here at the ballpark. Don't love this, though. That's a fair ball in the corner. That may have been touched by a fan. Regardless, a run will score. Makes it a 10-1 Cubs lead. And the 9th man to come to the plate will be Chris Bryant. Really not a bad pitch.
I was going to say, when things are going good, when you throw that pitch and it gets hit right down the line. Ball's in off the plate a few inches. It spins on it.
And Chris Bryant at the plate with 2 outs. Fastball and a strike. Chris Bryant, a 2-run homer back in the 3rd. He is struck out and also grounded out to short. Out of play. And the 0-2. Base hit into right. Bader charging. And misplayed it. Bryant on his way to second base, and he is out. Run scores 11-1 Chicago on the RBI base hit by Chris Bryant. Nothing, and I mean nothing, going right for the Cardinals. games, you don't walk anybody. That certainly is the case with Kluber. And then you mix in some nasty stuff and you become a Cy Young Award winner.
Just like that.
It helps.
You're right, it does help.
Here's Luke Voigt, and he looks at a strike. We'll see if the strike zone changes a little bit for our home plate umpire, Paul Nart, who's also the crew chief, if it gets a little bit bigger with a 10-run Cubs lead. I'm not sure anybody would mind that on either side, except maybe the hitter.
The hitter always minds.
No matter the score.
Exactly.
Pulled foul, and it's 1-2. Every Cubs hitter in their lineup except John Lester has scored at least 1 run tonight. 11-1 in the home half of the 5th. We love the matchup on paper prior to tonight. Just hasn't played out. Lester and Waka 2-2. And that's pulled fair. Nice play here by Bryant. Uses the turf and the pick by Rizzo. The Cubs doing everything right tonight. Well done on both ends.
You aren't kidding. That's a good play on both sides. Nice pick by Chris and another nice pick by Rizzo. It's a nice play at first. You expect this, right? This is a tough play. Look where that ball bounces to, right on the line of the grass and the dirt.
And you're not sure what kind of hop you're going to get.
Just got to stay down and hope it comes to you.
One ball, one strike. Jairo Munoz, 11-1 Chicago. And another chance now. Bryant. And a strike this time to Rizzo. Mention how these two teams have pretty good starting pitching, especially when they're at their respective home ballparks. Cubs on the road. 2.65, and Cardinals at home very good, obviously. So 2 outs and nobody on, and here's Dexter Fowler. Brett Cecil getting loose in the Cardinals pen. Well, you'd like to think that Dexter Fowler is saying, look, I know the numbers aren't pretty, but the only way to get out of this rut is to play. And if you're the manager, you're in a tough spot. You're saying, I understand that, Dexter, but we're trying to win games and we got to go with the hot hand and take numbers in terms of contracts out of it. It's a delicate situation, and I realize on paper at home you're saying, well, it's an easy decision. Bader's got to play. This guy has been a very good player in his career, and you're trying to get him right. Maybe get him some at-bats tonight. You find something, you never know. But that's one of the aspects that Mike Matheny probably looks at.
There's also some games to be played, right? We're trying to figure out what is your best way to get him to get going. So do you talk to him, yell at him, sit him? Do you send him out there in tough situations? Do you baby him? There's always that how to get the best out of your players, and everyone is different. So sometimes maybe they sit you for a while, see if you can't light a fire under you and get you going again. Sometimes you just need a break to clear your mind. I mean, there's so many things you can do. And as a manager and as a front office, you just try to basically explore all those opportunities and all those situations to see which one is going to work for each player. It's a tough job, because I think that you just don't know until you get into the heat of the moment. You try to do a few different things and they don't work, and you just keep on going. When does it stop, you know? And sometimes is it going to be just a tough year?
3-2 the count now on Dexter Fowler. Hit out of play. So Fowler pinch hitting here for Mike Myers. Cardinals go back to their bullpen with Brett Cecil, it looks like. On deck, it's Matt Carpenter. Pittsburgh defeated Cincinnati. Chad Kuhl now 5-4. Matt Harvey took the loss. He's 1-5. Milwaukee leads Philadelphia 10-1. That's in the 6th inning. Yelich and Hernan Perez have homered in that game. And a high fly ball lifted out to center. And Lester has a 1-2-3, bottom of 5. 11-1. Chicago over St. Louis. T-Mobile hats off for heroes, and Enos Slaughter served in the U.S. Army from 1943 to 1946. Played with St. Louis 13 years, a 10-time All-Star. Their T-Mobile hats off for heroes. This is the Chevy call to the pen, and Brett Cecil, 14th appearance. Last pitched over the weekend against Cincinnati. And it's 0-2 here on Anthony Rizzo. Hit a single off the sidewall down the left field wall. Was hit by a pitch and doubled and scored. 10 hits for the Cubs, 3 for the Cardinals. Chicago leads 11-1. Rizzo, a base hit into center on an 0-2 pitch.
Contreras takes a hack, doesn't he?
Doesn't get cheated. I think you could say the same about Baez to an extent. Rizzo hitters count you'll see every once in a while. Bryant just gear up and let it roll.
I mean, Contreras is only hitting 272, and for a catcher, that's pretty good. But it's surprising that he's only hitting 272 because when he takes those hacks, he's on those pitches, and they're not just fastballs. He's on the changeup, he's on the breaking ball, and he's on the fastball. He's just not putting him in play.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Contreras. New catcher, by the way, for the Cardinals, it's Francisco Pena. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout for Cecil.
Maybe I jinxed him a little bit. Finally got him off a pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt right there.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Brett Cecil. Here's a 2-1. Two balls and two strikes in this 11-1 game. The play behind the runner at first, and that pitch is taken for a ball. And now it goes to a 3-2 count. How about a double play? Out at second, the throw, no. Cecil not there. They do, though, get the lead man. So Schwarber will stand at first base with 2 outs. And it brings in Javi Baez. And Baez has had a big night. He's walked a couple of times, scored a couple of runs, had an infield hit back in the 4th inning. You look up and down this lineup, and a lot of guys have reached base, and a lot of guys have done damage here for the Chicago Cubs. They have a 10-run lead here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. And that pitch is lifted in the air into shallow right. Bader coming on, and he'll make the catch. Better than ever. Fill up at Phillips 66, 8 gallons or more, and now you can get a voucher for up to 50% off on up to 8 tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. Here's Carpenter, Bader, and Pham.
What do you think? You surprised Lester's still out there? 85 pitches.
One more inning. This would be it.
Well, I would hope so. But like I said, there's not a manager in the game that hasn't made a mistake by taking players out too early.
And Carpenter with a drive into right center. And this may leave the ballpark, and it does. It's a home run. And a tough way to get a souvenir. Home run number 9 for Matt Carpenter.
Oops.
And I don't think he came up with it.
Oh.
Second home run against a lefty this year for Carpenter. And here's Harrison Bader. So the Cardinals' runs have been with solo homers. Ozuna, his 9th in the 4th, and now Carpenter, his 9th here in the 6th. And wouldn't you know it, Jimmy, both have been measured at 415 feet. I don't know, maybe the guy that's measuring the distance just said, you know, 415, here you go.
Why not?
That is the great thing about baseball. You know, fans are so into it, and that's the beauty of it. Fans, they feel it. There's passion to it. And right now they're upset. They don't like to see what's going on with the Cardinals. It's a disappointing 9-game stretch against teams that are in the bottom portion, if not last in their division. Then you come in against the Cubs tonight. It's 11-2. But you have to keep in mind, new game tomorrow.
Long season.
Long season. All those things that come into play. But it is frustrating.
For sure. Frustrating in there too. In the dugout, in the locker room, front office, on the field. Everyone gets frustrated at one point. You got to ride it out.
Here's a 3-2. And Bader yanks it out to left. Catch made by Schwarber. Our Budweiser, what's on tap? It'll be Fox Saturday Baseball, Kyle Hendricks and Carlos Martinez. Locally, that'll be on Channel 2. Fox Saturday Baseball, 6:30, Budweiser, what's on tap. Here's Tommy Pham. And it's 2-1. And Pham with a high fly ball into shallow center.
the guy in the red shirt that went after that ball. That guy right there, and when he fell, I think he had almost decapitated that young lady to the left. Knocked her straight down. It's exciting to get a baseball, right?
It's the best.
As long as it's not a foul ball coming this way. Now he's got to explain to him why he didn't catch that ball to everyone in the St. Louis area.
2-0 here on Ozuna. I'm just happy he's all right. That was a great effort out there.
Quite a tumble.
Now, I'm not sure about his elbow being a little skinned up, maybe the forearm.
Pride.
You said it.
You're dang right I said it.
Ozuna is 2 for 3.
I've been there.
Well, yeah, but you also have 8 gold gloves on the mantle. He went for the 1 ball and didn't come up with it. So that'll be it for Ozuna. Greg Garcia will pinch run, and it brings in Pena. There it is one more time.
There we go. Watch out, girl in the red. Oh, never mind. She was going for the ball. I thought he knocked her over, but she has some court awareness and knew the ball was down there.
And now Joe Madden is saying he wants to bring out his trainer, which would not constitute a mound visit, but they pull that back and they won't be charged.
Joe Madden's got some games in there.
What was he like as a coach? You had him as a coach.
He's amazing. He's amazing. He was innovative. He was always trying something new, trying to keep it fresh. I think that's what his gig is. He's trying to keep it fun and fresh, no matter what it takes. And sometimes it gets a little crazy. But you know what? You got to do that sometimes. You got to change it up.
Now Lester did wave him off, and let's see if there was an issue at all. Can't really tell. Stretching a little bit the legs there at the end.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's starting to get a little hot down there after 100 pitches, 6 innings, and a little warm and humid out there. Being up 11-2, I'm sure they're ready to get him out.
And a soft liner, and that's caught by Russell on a broken bat for Francisco Pena. All right, the Cardinals trailing here by the score of 11-2 into right, and a base hit kept in front by Harrison Bader. So Russell is aboard, and he's on base for the 3rd time tonight. He's got a walk, a double, 2 runs scored, and RBI. The new left fielder is Jairo Munoz. We saw him play outfield in spring training, did a very good job there. And Greg Garcia stays in the ball game and takes over at short. Here's the switch hitting Ian Happ. Scotty mentioned on a previous update, Corey Kluber's no walk streak, that's over. He had gone 6 straight starts, 46 1/3 innings without a walk. Snapped tonight against the Twins. To put it in perspective, 179 consecutive batters he did not walk. 179. And he surpassed Miles Michaelis of the Cardinals for the lowest walks per 9, 0.90. Dodgers and Rangers had a benches clearing brawl this past week. Matt Kemp has been suspended 1 game. There's Michaelis with the best mustaches in all of baseball. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Ian Happ. Fouled back. And another foul ball. Happ tonight a solo home run that was back in the 3rd. That got the Cubs on the board. Later that inning, a 2-run homer by Chris Bryant that made it 3-0. Cubs scored 2 more in the 4th. Cardinals got a run on a home run by Ozuna in the bottom of the 4th that made it 5-1. Then a 6-run 5th inning. Cardinals get a home run from Carpenter, and it's 11-2. And a fly ball. Right field. Ooh, catch made by Pham. Nearly collided there with Bader. Edward Jones proud to bring you the Hall of Fame that's coming up later this summer, and that is open to the public. That'll be August 18th at 3 here at Ballpark Village, and this is not good news. His medical team is back out on the mound. And Cecil says he's okay, so he'll stay out there. And a pinch hitter now for John Lester. 11-2 our score. And that pitch taken low. Play behind the runner at first base, and the 1-0 pitch is a strike. Been a tough go for Brett Cecil. Couldn't get it going last year. Has struggled early on this year. Plaza Tire Service replay. Lester's line 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, both solo home runs, 1 walk, struck out 3, 102 pitches tonight. Two and two.
That's crazy. Think about how good John Lester is. And if you watch the game from a fan standpoint, nothing special, right? But he does such a good job of just keeping the hitters off balance enough to make it nothing special. No blowing guys away with strikeouts. There's no ground balls with dazzling plays. It's just a very simple game. He does such a nice job of staying out of the middle of the plate. And he works the hitter in and out, up and down. And like you said, all of a sudden you're looking at in the 7th inning, 11-2 game, and you're trying to figure out what went wrong. John Lester went wrong again.
And there's a walk. The BJC Healthcare difference maker tonight, and no doubt about it, it's John Lester. 6 innings, 5 hits, gave up a couple of runs, the solo homers, walked 1 and struck out 3. And that is your BJC Healthcare difference maker.
Just another ho-hum walking off the mound with a big lead. Another nice job.
So 1 out, runners at first and second. Little flare hit out to center, and this ball will drop. And the bases will be loaded for the Chicago Cubs. So the base is loaded, 1 out, and this could be trouble here with Chris Bryant. Bryant already a 2-run homer back in the 3rd, and an RBI single in inning number 5. He has driven in 3. Now Mora, that's his 3rd base hit of the night. Driven out to center. Sinking liner that's caught by Pham. 1 runner tags up to make it a 12-2 Chicago lead. We'll see a pinch hitter for Rizzo. This will be Tommy LaStella with runners at first and second. And the Cardinals down by a touchdown, extra point, and a field goal. So 2 outs and 2 on, and a strike. Tommy LaStella has proven to be a very good pinch hitter for the Cubs, just an all-around solid bench player. Joe Maddon's club. Out of play, nothing in 2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Just got a piece to stay alive. It's now 13 hits for the Cubs. They've out hit the Cardinals 13-5 and lead by 10. And that's fouled back. Little chopper that's pulled foul. And a little flare that's popped up on the infield, and the catch is made. Cubs will strand a pair. They pick up a run, and it's time to stretch in a 12-2 ball game. Donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. It's 12-2. We're at the bottom of the 7th. Chris Bryant will move to first base. Stella stays in at third base. Jimenez is your new catcher. Anthony Bass is the new pitcher in our Chevy Call to the Pen. So the Stella at third base. And on the first pitch, Bass off the mound and steps and throws for the out. So one pitch and one out. And here's Luke Voigt.
We could raise some money and they could hit, I don't know, 10 home runs and catch up this inning. Get right back into this ball game
with 10 solo home runs.
Why not? Let's raise some money.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Luke Voigt. Took something off it, and it is 0-2. Plaza Tire Service replay and the changeup that time. And an 0-2. So was Joe one of those guys in Anaheim that was as an assistant or a bench coach bringing animals to spring training?
No, he had
not at that point.
He had to be chill because he wasn't the boss.
And Voigt strikes out on another changeup. And Bass has gotten the first two here in the bottom of the 7th.
But he did come up with some good stuff in the minor leagues, keep guys interested and play some games in spring training. teach guys certain things without hounding them about the game. And I think when he finally got a chance to be the leader, kind of loosened up a little bit more and would do the, I think that he said that to me, but give him a chance to be his own person and not have to kind of take a back seat. Just kind of opened up a little bit more each year.
Is it tough if you haven't played at this level to be a manager, to get the respect of the players that are there day in and day out?
You know what? I just think it just depends on the man. You know, like you have respect for people that you know around town, and it just, some people have more than others, and just the way their demeanor is. And I think you can show that you know the game and that you care about your players. I think that goes a long way. And one, if you care about your players and show them that respect, know the game, and you don't, you know, try to fool anyone. They know it.
A 2-out base hit by Munoz. Colton Wong, who's had a walk-off homer against the Cubs, will pinch hit.
The thing about manager is you get the respect of the players. It goes a long way because those players are close inside that locker room. They travel together. They spend so much time together. You can't sneak anything past them.
So runner at first and 2 outs. 0-1 pitch to Colton Wong coming up. You know, Colton has had some big moments late in games. Obviously, this a blowout here tonight, but back on May 5th, this home run, extra innings on a Saturday afternoon against the Cubs. Here's a 1-1. It's chopped foul. One ball, 2 strikes. They'll play behind Munoz at first base. And a pitch in the dirt. Gyro stays put. What happens after a game like this? What happens with the players? I know fans are curious. Just get showered and you say, well, go back and get them tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the loss. I think that if you start to play a little lackadaisical as the game goes on and give away more runs and stuff, I think the manager says something. I think if sometimes you just get beat, you get beat. It also depends on what's been happening beforehand. You know, if this is like the string of 5 or 6 games in a row and this one blows up because it finally catches up with you, something has to be said. Tony La Russa flipped over the dinner table one night somewhere, I can't remember where, and basically told us to go out there and fend for ourselves because we don't deserve to beat the Major League clubhouse. But he was right. No one would like to hear that, but you know, sometimes the truth hurts.
A base hit to the right by Colton Wong. Remember, Bryant is at first base. And it brings in Matt Carpenter, who is homered tonight. It's his second home run against a lefty this year, number 9 overall. John Mozeliak, the president of baseball operations, told a funny story tonight as he had the chance to visit with Scott Rowland, who was in town last homestand, and they started talking about shifts, and Scott said, what is the big deal with shifts? And Mo basically said, well, what would you do against it? He said, adjust. Hit it where they're not positioned. Learn to hit the ball the other way. Learn to hit it other spots that you're not comfortable with, but adjust. Hit it where they ain't, the old saying.
Or you just deal with it. I was informed that that table turning over was in Detroit. Cannot believe that that was the only one in my era.
Under Tony?
Yeah.
I could see Tony being hot after a game like this.
I think Tony's just all about competing. And whether you're trying or not, it depends on whether it looks like you're trying or not, and coming from him. And so he'll let you know if he didn't think you're trying.
I think too, you have to pick your spots. If you do it a lot, guys just tune it out. If you do it at the right time where you're upset and the point, then it sinks in.
Well, he didn't let things lie, and I think that, yeah, he probably could have done it a lot more, but it would have made a bigger deal. Just did, like you said, to do it once in a while, but he would pull you aside.
Misplayed, and now Wong being waved in, and he will score. Carpenter drives in a run. It'll be an error, and 2-run score, and Matt Carpenter has driven in a couple here tonight, and it's now a 12-4 game.
Carp staying it hot in the leadoff spot. And that's what you're talking about right there when you start to see that stuff. Even though they're the ones that are up, you start to get sloppy play, and that's what the manager gets a little irritated with.
So 2 outs and a runner at first, and a pitch up and in to Bader. Sometimes you do it for effect too. You realize that you're starting a big stretch of games here. It's an important weekend against the Cubs. You did not play well against San Diego.
You know what I think too is what else is effective is you go to your starters or you go to your horses the next day and you let them know that you think that the effort is not there, one by one. You don't have to go to everyone that way, and you don't have to throw stuff around the clubhouse and make a big deal out of it. You go to your 2 or 3 guys and you kind of explain what you see to them, and they have to kind of set the tone.
Cardinals pick up a pair. They cut the lead now to 12-4. By Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. Buy Ford, going further so you can. It's a big crowd tonight, and a lot of Cubby Blue is left. 12-4 as we move to the 8th. Ben Zobrist will pinch hit, and the return of Matt Bowman. This is our Chevy call to the pen. You know, we talk about trying to get to Hicks, and then he sets up Bud Norris, and the Cardinals have had issues with that. And this very well could be the guy that helps you in that regard, and that's Matt Bowman, who returns off the DL after blisters, which can be a lingering issue for any pitcher.
Especially once the heat starts and the fingers stay wet. Definitely could be an issue.
One ball and one strike on the switch hitting Zobrist. Notice his hands aren't helicoptering as much. Usually, especially this side of the plate, they go up and down very rapidly and a little bit more quiet. See if that's the case here. It certainly is.
I like it. I think that movement sometimes can throw you off. What if you're thinking about that, right? You're thinking about moving your hands, and even if you get a little superstitious, you'll start thinking about that. Well, that's taking concentration away from the pitch and the pitcher.
You see a pitcher do it, and he's trying to hide the grip of the baseball on a particular pitch, but not so much with the batters. And the 2-2. And a grounder that's pulled foul.
Tell you what, they have, speaking of hitting coaches again, I mean, they have one of the best guys for the job over there. As far as, he was a professional hitter, played for a long time, Chili Davis, a couple different teams, won a World Series. But I mean, he could hit. He knew what he was doing at the plate, knew what he could and could not hit.
Zobrist drives it into center, and the catch made by Tommy Pham. This is good to see. Fox Sports Midwest was proud to support Yadier Molina's Foundation for Flavors Puerto Rico event. Held last night, more than $300,000 was raised to benefit victims of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. For more information on Yadi's foundation and to continue to support his efforts, visit YadierMolina4.com. Nice event. Folks from Ameren were instrumental in helping rebuild some of the power issues that they had in Puerto Rico. Helped out over 1 million families. Volunteers from Ameren, Illinois and Ameren, Missouri went down there and helped out. Here's an 0-1 pitch. This is Kyle Schwarber.
Talk about the shift. This is the one that when you talk about when guys don't understand it. Got a guy that runs the ball down and away from lefties. Even though he might pull the ball, pitching against the shift. Interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, traditionally you think if you pitch somebody away, a left-handed batter, professional hitters take the ball the other way and you still see the shift.
But you know, they have all of the
absolutely all the numbers.
All the numbers in the dugout, and they have the spray charts, and they know where he hits the ball. So, and it might be different against different teams too. They just might not hit the ball the other way against the Cardinals.
Well, Schwarber, a long home run earlier tonight to center field. And the 2-2 pitch. A strikeout for Matt Bowman. And there's 2 outs.
Or they might be trying to get him out with soft stuff, and eventually he's going to roll over something or hit the ball to the right side. Good pitch by Bowman.
Really turns the ball over, doesn't he?
Sure does.
And now Javi Baez. You think about exciting players in the game today, and whether you're a Cubs fan or not, this guy's exciting. Some of the quickest hands in baseball, both at the plate and certainly out in the field. speed, power. And when he first came up, you could really pitch to him. You know, a slider on the outer half.
Doing a better job each year of taking pitches like that right there.
Ken Rosenthal talked about Yadier Molina, his impact on Team Puerto Rico. Javi Baez, a part of that, and they were such a fun team to watch. Carlos Beltran was a part of it as well. The World Baseball Classic. There's Yadi.
About that tag he made. Yadi threw that guy out at second base, and he was pointing back at Yadi as he was tagging out the runner, stealing second base. Pretty talented.
And the 1-2 pitch. Baez, a swing and a miss. Nope, just got a piece. That's the pitch right there, though. You would see him when he first came up time and again. He would chase and strike out.
Well, that's what we're talking about all the time about hitting, about guys looking inside or wanting the ball inside because they're trying to go deep. That right there is telling you he's looking fastball, guessing fastball, and he wants to hit it too hard. When you start to see guys going the other way and taking pitches like that, they've kind of backed off that 100% swing and start to get comfortable with just driving the ball up the middle or driving the ball the other way at certain times.
Breaks his bat. And thank goodness for the screen. Went all the way back to the screen.
You ain't kidding. That was halfway up the screen.
It's a ball at 2 strikes on Javi Baez. Pulled the string, and that is a strikeout of Baez. That time could not get a piece. So a nice return for Matt Bowman, a scoreless inning. Midway through 8, 12-4. That's presented by Siteman Cancer Center and Siteman Kids and St. Louis Children's Hospital. Purchase a special theme ticket. Receive a Cardinals cap with your choice of cancer awareness colors. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/theme. Brewers hold on and beat the Phillies 13-2. This is Luke Farrell the son of John Farrell, longtime Boston manager. Let's assume the Cardinals do not come back. They will drop to 5 back in the Central Division. Yelich, Hernan Perez, Jesus Aguilar, all with home runs. Brent Suter goes to 7-4. Jake Arrieta is now 5-5. We'll see Arrieta next week in Philly. Must have been gut-wrenching, but yet so proud at the same time for John Farrell. Luke last year was with the Reds. First pitcher in the history of the game to pitch against a team his father was managing. That was late September of a year ago. It's a tough league. John Farrell won his division, got fired. That's hit out to deep left field. Tommy Pham goes deep. It's another Cardinal home run. This one for Tommy Pham. And it makes it a 12-5 Chicago lead.
Good swing right there by Tommy Pham. Look at his legs. Down in there. Was down after the ball. Something he wasn't doing when he was struggling. I was talking to him about that. It's funny when guys struggle. A lot of guys do the same stuff. You lose your legs. You start pulling off a little bit. Sometimes when you're at the plate, you're thinking to yourself, how am I missing these pitches?
I can see it now, Jim Edmonds. Old Danny Mac is up here, 40 years behind the mic. There's the old Cardinals center fielder down there, Jim Edmonds, and he's the batting coach for some team, and the end of the ball game is landed. I think Jim's got a pretty good scouting report on Landon. I can see it now. You ready for it?
I don't know if he's ready for it. It's a lot of work.
Be gut-wrenching, wouldn't it?
Be tough to. It's tough to get him off the Fortnite.
And there's a high fly ball lifted out to right field. Got to get on him and say,
I told him the
Lando.
other day, you know, it's funny that, you know, we all tell our kids certain things, right? You have your kids are playing sports and golf and soccer and all that stuff. And I told him the other day, I was like at the gym working out, and there was a bunch of kids practicing basketball, and he was laying in bed playing Fortnite. I go, there's a bunch of kids that you're going to be playing against that are out practicing, getting better already. You're in there playing Fortnite.
Jimmy, he'll be fine. He's got your genes. He'll be out there one of these days. You never know. Takes some work, though, as you've told me.
Well, the good news is I didn't find it till I was about 20, so he's got a while. Maybe even later than that.
I could see you being a coach and then withholding a lot of information from me. You know, Dan, we were partners for a long time.
But you can't come into my office.
You can't come into my office, and I got nothing for you.
Nah.
Here's a 1-1.
I'm going to go with nah on the first part, the coaching.
I see you coaching one of these days.
Nope.
No?
I don't think I can anymore. I like it. I really do. I love it. I wish there was a way to do it without the schedule. The schedule is tough for my family now. I gave so much to this game for so long, and I feel like I need to give back to my family right now. And this is a good gig. I get to watch. I get to stay close. I get to help if I need it. But I also get to stay home from a lot of road trips. And right now, that's most important.
7 o'clock game. Coach is usually here by 10:30, 11.
12 o'clock at the latest.
Yep. Some long days.
And you wear it too. You wear it when your team isn't playing well, and you wear it when you've got a player that isn't doing well, and you're trying to figure out everything you can to make them better. And then you figure it out talking to some of the coaches over the years, and you explain it to the player and they don't get it, or they don't understand it, or they don't want to change it. So then you go at it some more and you try to figure it out how to get it through to them.
2-2 the count on Francisco Pena. And he strikes out. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Well, you just had a son of a former major leaguer and a manager in John Farrell strike out the son of Tony Pena. It's always interesting to hear the stories of guys that grew up around a clubhouse. I've told this before, but our good buddy Eduardo Perez, and I know you hold him in the highest esteem. Of course, his dad was part of the Big Red Machine, and Sparky Anderson said kids could come in after wins. After losses, no sir.
He used to tell me him and Junior used to run around underneath the stadium.
Which one, Pete Rose or King Griffey?
Both, but Griff. And they would just, game would start. And he said he didn't even watch very many games when he was younger because he was too busy running underneath the stands. But that must have been fun.
Absolutely. A fly ball into right field in foul territory, and the catch is made. Sends us to the ninth, and it's 12-5. Try to get the final 3 outs here in the top of the ninth. And we could see a relief pitcher bat in the bottom of the ninth. Cardinals are out of position players. So John Brebbia is our Chevy call to the pen. Addison Russell at the plate, and the first pitch is fouled back. Well, if you're Mike Matheny, you always hope it's a quick inning for any of your pitchers or relievers. But in this case, the role of John Brebbia has taken on greater importance. So you'd love to maybe have to use him tomorrow at some point, late inning situation. He has been one of the guys that you go to. That slider taken in the dirt, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. John's done a nice job. Couple of saves. One of those a 3-inning save. Another one was in Cincinnati last weekend. And it is fouled back. Addison Russell, a big night, couple of hits, a walk, 2 runs scored, and the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses in.
It's a good pitch right there, trying to set up the slider probably right here.
And the 2-2. Lined into right in a fair ball. Bader hustling over to cut it off. He'll spin, throws back into second, and safe. In a 12-5 game, boy, you appreciate that from Harrison Bader, who has turned into one of the top defensive outfielders, not just with the Cardinals, but in all of baseball. The metrics will tell you that.
Nice job right here and a great throw. Just a little bit of a tough hop for Garcia.
That's a guy in Russell that runs pretty well too.
That ball bounces about 6 to 10 feet back towards the outfield a little bit. I have to say that he might be out. Garcia can stay on the bag, stick the tag down a little quicker instead of having to back up just a little bit to catch that in between hop. That's why it's such an art to play the outfield, and throwing and hitting effort is there, right? He's got a great arm, made a great throw, but that great throw can be even greater if he doesn't throw it that close to the bag. And that was a great play.
Ian Happ at the plate, 0-2. Home run, a solo homer back in inning number 3. That was his 9th of the year. And that got it rolling for Chicago. Part of a 3-run third. They had a 2-run 4th, 6-run 5th, another run in the 7th. 14 hits tonight. They've out hit the Cardinals 14-9. And that's to the backstop. Budweiser plays of the game. Ian Happ with this long home run. They all were no doubters. Bryant, 2-run homer, and then this one from Kyle Schwarber. My goodness, went up to get it, and a long one into center. I can't remember the last time we've seen a home run get to the concrete in center field.
Short hop that concrete, bounced and rolled up there. It's a long way.
And a swing and a miss. 96 elevated, and a strikeout. Entering tonight, the Cardinals 24-4 when scoring 5 or more runs. Their starting pitching has been outstanding, and when the club gives them a little bit of offense, more times than not, they're winning those games. Cubs 8-15 with allowing 5 or more runs. So the runner at third base, infield is drawn in. In a 12-5 game. Way out in front, 1-2. One thing for certain, a ground ball, the infield is going to have to wait for Luke Voit to get back to the bag. He is way off the line. Popped up left side. Garcia racing after it, sliding for it, comes up short.
covered a lot of ground right here. Check out how quickly he gets to this ball. And I think he just got a little bit caught, not exactly knowing where it's going to come down. I've seen a couple of those tough plays going in that corner. The other day was the third baseman. I told you it was the shortstop's ball. It still isn't easy with the shortstop going over there.
And the 1-2 pitch by Brebbia. Just off the plate. Paul Nart, his strike zone's been pretty good tonight. It's one thing you notice with the replays and with the box set is up. These umpires, for the most part, are very, very good. They don't miss many. That wasn't missed, but it was pulled foul. And the 2-2 fouled back. A rarity, but this homestand features all night games. Cardinals coming into this series had played just about half, if not at the halfway point of the season, in day games. And you think about guys being creatures of habit. They get used to playing in the night, the rhythm of that, the sleep patterns. And every game on this homestand, a night game. The 2-2 pitch. And a fly ball lifted out to left center. Tommy Pham, plenty deep to score the run. This will make it a 13-5 Cubs lead. It's a good at bat.
It's a really good at bat right there. He battled, hit some tough pitches. So one thing about this game is they'll teach you is you never stop playing it no matter what the score. You have some respect, but you keep playing the game the way it's supposed to be played.
And a strike to Albert Almora Jr. We're back to the top of the lineup for Chicago. And a line drive into center. Tommy Pham with the catch. Brebbia allows a run. Cubs extend the lead. It's now 13-5. Messi and Argentina battle Iceland in group play. Coverage begins at 7 a.m. Or stream all the action live on the Fox Sports Go app. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Luke Weaver, or rather Luke Voigt. It's been a long night.
Same thing.
Long night. Luke back in the big leagues. He went down to Springfield for a little tune-up, knowing that he would return tonight with Jose Martinez on the paternity list. And the 2-2 pitch, Farrell to Voigt. That's in the dirt. Reminder, the game tomorrow on Big Fox. Locally, that's Channel 2 here in St. Louis. And the 3-2 pitch hit down the right field line, slicing, foul. (13-5) in favor of Chicago. 14 hits. The Cardinals with 9. Farrell in his second inning of work, and a 3-2 pitch to Luke Voigt. And it's a leadoff walk. Jimmy's got his rally cap on, and that's how it all starts. Here's Jairo Munoz, who has one of the 9 hits tonight for the Cardinals, and a pitch taken low. Fun at the old ball yard, Jimmy. And the 1-1. One ball and 2 strikes. And now a 1-2 pitch to Munoz. He drives it into right center. And the catch is made by Almora. Came in, then had to go back, makes the catch. And that's the first out. Here's John Brebbia. Jimmy, if he goes deep, What do you owe me?
Bringing in a lefty to face him. Give him a break, Joe. Come on.
So we tell you about the pitching change with this game on the line when we come back. Up, tight game. You can understand why Joe Madden would want to get this matchup. Lefty, lefty.
Oh boy.
All right, so if he goes deep, what do you owe me?
One of these days.
What are you going to get me?
Oh man, I don't know.
Dinner? What?
Yeah, I'll buy you dinner anytime. Wow, that's a
pretty good cut.
I was going to say, if he makes contact, I'll be excited. I'll be honest with you, I would have pinched it for him and brought in a right-handed pitcher. If you're going to go up there, you might as well get ready to hit, huh? Look at that swing. I like it.
His second career plate appearance. Now, seeing these swings, just don't get hurt. July 19th against the Mets. Last year, he lined out to third.
He's not. I don't know if he's going to line out to third today.
Puts it in play.
That's a great at bat right there, John.
And
look at him
hustling down the line. He just asked the ump if I was out. It's not quite Harrison Bader, but not bad. He's a character.
Now he is.
Left-handed.
Great at bat right there, though. He'll remember that for the rest of his life.
So 2 outs, and the batter is Carpenter with a runner at second base. Matt's had a nice night. He's driven in 3. Check that 2. Is homered tonight. Jimmy, you kept score for all of 7 batters combined. Nice work. At least it's a
8.
Oh, you get the home
Cut
run.
the home run. Kicked me out of my chair, and I lost my concentration on the scorecard. Kind of what happened up there too. The big scoreboard.
Cardinals down to their final strike here in game number 1. And a pitch in the dirt. And the 1-2 pitch to Matt Carpenter. 2-2. And the 3-2 pitch to Carpenter. He walked him.
You got to be kidding me right there. 3-2 breaking ball up by a lot.
Harrison Bader will be the batter. 13-5, 2 outs, 2 on. Tommy Pham at the on-deck circle, who is homered tonight. And Bader lines it to short. And game 1 comes to a close. 13-5, the Cubs win it. Big 3rd inning. A 6-run 5th inning. All told, 13 runs tonight. 13-5 the final. So Chicago comes in. They take game number 1. And a reminder, our next telecast will be Monday night in Philly. We've got the post game though coming up. Missouri Lottery Cardinals live. 13-5 the final.